In this video, I wanted to check the graph from the Mark Twain video and make sure that it actually makes sense. So I'm on my calculator here. Our equation was 9 cosine. Now you need parentheses there. We had a pi over 5, and that'll get its own set of parentheses. So a pi over 5, and then we had a t minus 4, or an x in this case we're going to have to use. All of this is part of the cosine, so we've got to close out the cosine parentheses, and then we want to add 7 for the midline. And anyway, to be able to graph this, make sure that you're in Radian mode, which is what we're using. We're using 2 pi to do the graph here, so make sure you're in Radian mode. Go to your window, and you want your window to be set up pretty much like the window that we had set up in the drawing. So my graph went maybe from 0 out to at least a time value of 14. We might even want to go a little farther, like 18 or something like that. And I'll make the scale 1. The y value, it went down as low as -2. I'm going to have it go to -5 to get a little extra room. Went as high as 16. I'm going to have it go as high as 20. So you got to think about what kinds of dimensions you used. And then I can make my graph here, and you can see the function. And hopefully it dips slightly below. Now, I would check to make sure that there are a couple of key points. If your window is different than the window that you used in the original drawing, your graph may show different things. Remember that it was supposed to have the point 416 on it. And if we trace here, you may not get exactly because it kind of jumps from point to point, but you can see we're real close there. It's about 4 and about 16. It should have hit a minimum point at 9, -2. And so if we come down here, you can see we're pretty close to 9 and -2. Oh, look, we got that point exactly. And then you can see over here 14, 16. That was another point on here, and we can get pretty close to that point. You can also run a table. And so, for example, you could have it start off maybe at 4 and count by ones or something, and just look for key values. And so notice the point 416 was on there, the point 9, -2 is on there, and then the point 1416 is on there. So it looks like the graph was supposed to look. I traced it, the key points came up the way they were supposed to, and I ran a table and I found out that the exact values I wanted also showed up there. So these are all things that suggest that the equation that I wrote in the video for the Mark Twain problem is in fact the correct equation.